All right, if you're wholesaling real estate, one of the challenges you will come up against time and time again is how do you know if the buyer you're working with is a real buyer? Now, there's a lot of things out there that are like, well, get proof of funds, but the reality is that's not really a great metric. You could say, well, they have a bank statement. Well, I mean, that's a little better, but that doesn't mean they're going to close. Okay. It doesn't even necessarily mean they're a real buyer. I know that you might think that's a little weird, but I've seen it in the past. You might say things like, well, they'll put up more earnest money. I mean, that's a little bit better, but have I seen people walk away from earnest money? Yeah, time and time again. So instead of these little task checkbox things that, they help, but they're not going to be your smoking gun, so to speak, how do you know if a buyer is a real buyer? And the answer is incredibly simple, and it's a little bit tricky, and I'll explain both. The simple part is easy. You have a conversation with them, not a text thread, not a messenger thread or Instagram thread or whatever social media thread, an actual human to human conversation. Okay. The reality is, as people, we can tell, right, when people are giving us maybe a less than perfect vibe. Okay. Now, are there some amazing salespeople out there that can maybe swing something by? Of course, right? That exists in any business. But the point is, for the vast majority of the time, if you get on the phone with somebody, you're going to be able to tell from that conversation if they're the real deal or not. Okay. We do have this thing called instinct, our gut, and so forth that is actually right the vast majority of the time, right? And we know that, like we know that as people. But what about, okay, they sound good, but what if they're right? Like you still want to make sure. So you got to know what are the qualities of the conversation of a real buyer. I'm going to tell you the first one right off the bat because this will take care of most of it right here. Are they decisive? Okay. If they are not decisive, here's what's going to happen. 9 times out of 10, you're going to go under contract with them and they probably won't close. They're going to waffle back and forth. It's like a washing machine thing going on, wishy washy, wishy washy. Like the best buyers, the ones you want to work with, they're decisive. Okay. They are decisive. Okay. They're like, I want it, the end, step one, step two, step three, go. In fact, when they're really good, they already know what's next before you even ask it. And they're even answering your questions before you ask them. Those are your best buyers. That's also going to rule out probably 99% of the people you talk to that say they're a buyer, just being real. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. The 1% of buyers out there that you're looking for, that's still a lot of people. It's not like it's one every 1,000 or something. There's still a lot of good buyers out there. Okay. But the really good ones that you want, they are decisive. Okay. Now, the other thing I will tell you is can they qualify their conversation with educated data? Okay. Example, I had someone sent me a property recently. We looked at it. It was a probate deal. We really liked the deal. And I told the person, this actually came from a real estate agent. I said, I really like this deal, but I just cannot make it work. He was like, why can't you make it work? It's a great this. And he was right. And I said, because we have a metric in our office where we need to make X% of profit per deal net in a worst case scenario. And no matter how I slice this is our best number. And we were close. Their seller couldn't come down, and we're like, you know what? It's a good deal, but it wasn't good enough to pull the trigger for us. And so we were able to have an educated conversation. And I even said to him, you know what? I'm not even telling you it's a bad deal. I'm just telling you we're not the buyer for this deal. There is someone out there that is absolutely going to pay more than us for this deal, and that's okay. A good buyer will tell you, I'm not the buyer for this deal, and here's why. They'll make an offer. Good buyers almost always make offers, okay? Or they're going to say, I will be too low, and they won't make an offer out of respect because I don't want to waste your time. But if you really want an offer, they'll give you an offer, but they'll be able to justify it with logical, defined explanations that are based on data. not on emotion, not on opinion, not on which way the wave is going, on data. And because of data driven conversations, you get to the facts. Why? As a good friend of mine always says, data doesn't lie. It's a beautiful thing, right? So when you talk to buyers, are they decisive? Are they data driven with logical explanations that are supported by factual information? Because remember, houses are houses, comps are comps, like all these things, it's all just a conglomeration of data. So by doing this, you'll be able to have conversations with people and figure out, are they real? Are they not real? Are they real? And by the way, could you have real buyers that just don't speak well? Of course, right? But you're looking for the best buyers because as a wholesaler, time is of the essence. You got to make things happen fast. And the last thing you want to be dealing with is wishy washy anything. Because if someone's wishy washy at the beginning, here's what I can tell you 99 times out of 100, they'll be wishy washy all the way to closing if they even close. So, that is my thoughts on how do you know if you've got a good buyer. Talk to people. Stop relying just on technology. Use it for the initial, but talk, and have that real conversation. Be bold with them. Be courageous, right? You're going to learn a lot about people. And that's really at the end of the day, when you have good buyers, you're really connecting with the people you want to know and have in your circle anyway. So, hope this helps. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, the whole thing. And I look forward to seeing you around.